Hey there everybody, this is Morgan. Welcome back to Highland Cycles for yet another radical, awesome start to a series. Series of videos here we're going to do on Loretta the Game Changer, the 23 300XC that truly did change the game for Highland Cycles and for me as a YouTube channel. This bike really set us off on a different trajectory, and it's been really awesome. If you guys are new here, you'll notice that no, this does not look like Dirt Bike Channel's studio. This doesn't look like Dirt Bike TV studio. It doesn't look like Jeff Slavens' studio, because it's not a studio. This is a real, honest-to-goodness dirt bike motorcycle shop in Western Colorado. We work on everything from 70-degree Husabergs to crazy 300XCs with awesome graphics. We've even got a Honda CT90 over there. Even cooler, guys, make sure you subscribe because there is a 73 Penton right there. That is going to be bringing us lots of content here probably very soon. I got to get working on that. But yeah, we are a real honest-to-goodness motorcycle shop that films YouTube videos for you guys. And this one is going to be fun. We're going to do, like I said, a series on this. This bike has 165 hours on it. It really has had no problems except for just recently at the last race it went to. It ended up sticking the Bendix out, the starter Bendix out, therefore killing the Bendix and killing the starter motor, which also led to me replacing the bushings and things. Anyway, there's a whole freaking ton of videos on this bike. Make sure you check out that playlist. It's just a 23 300XC playlist, I believe. But it is winter here in Colorado. I am beaten up and broken from my trip to Baja, to the Baja 1000, where I had a big crash and get off, but we ended up still finishing second in the Pro Moto 40 class, even with that big crash. But this bike is in rough shape. It actually runs and works great right now, but it is in dire need of a refresh. So that's what we're going to do. If that sounds like fun, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and join me, because here we go. All right, guys, as I said, this is a 2023 300XC. We call her Loretta the Game Changer. It is heavily modified in every way, from the suspension to the motor, every aftermarket part you could possibly think about. This is a well over $20,000 dirt bike if you had to pay for everything. Fortunately, I have not. Thank you very much to all my sponsors. Make sure you check out the links in the description below of all the people who have sponsored us. The biggest sponsors of the channel, guys, are Onyx Off-Road and Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Please use those links if you're going to sign up for Onyx or buy anything from Rocky Mountain. It really does make a huge difference. It helps us do these kind of projects and the projects that are coming down the line, and will hopefully grow big enough to fund even cooler, bigger projects. But yes, this is a heavily modified bike. It has been very good. But it is in dire need of a refresh for next race season. So if we take a look at here, we've got lots of scratches, dents, dings, just good, honest fun has been had on this motorcycle. And what happens when you do that is you beat things up. So for the first part of this series, we're going to be stripping this bike down, washing it up really good, and getting it ready for a whole bunch of parts. Let's start taking things apart. All right, guys, when I take things apart, I like to put bolts back where they go so I don't lose them. I can also put them in Ziploc bags and things like that, but if I can, I put them back. So like the seat bolt, I'm going to put that back in the tank. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip all the plastic off before I take anything else off, mainly because we are doing all new plastics and graphics for this season. I'm really excited about that. And so I don't need these things on here anymore. We're going to rip them off. If anybody wants any of them, shoot me an email, morgan@highland-cycles.com. We'll fire you off a shroud or a fender or whatever. While we're doing this, I'll talk about some of my favorite parts. One of my favorite parts on this bike, honestly, is the gas tank. The Acerbis gas tank is good. It's the biggest one available right now. I don't notice the bigness of it up front. It's been very good. All right, guys, one thing to think about if you are replacing plastics is all the little collars, these little aluminum collars. You make sure you get them out. Some of the new plastics come with new collars, but most of them don't. And even the ones that do don't usually come with all of them, so I like to save them just in case. Also, guys, I'm pretty excited. I've been working with DecalWorks on my graphics for a very, very long time. They have been amazing. But I was contacted by the Design Lab Co. And they are building me the next set of graphics. I think they might already be on the way. I'm really excited about that. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So we are switching graphics companies. We are going to the Design Lab. And yeah, I could not be more excited about that. I think it's really going to be a cool partnership with them. We're also going to be able to offer discounts. We're never able to do that with DecalWorks. With the Design Lab, they're going to work with us to offer discounts to you. So stay tuned. We'll have a discount code and all that good stuff. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really cool setup. Another thing you guys need to know is that if you're new here, this has been my do everything race bike. I had a 2018 300 XCW that was kind of my trail bike, more like for cutting trees and things like that, clearing trails. But as far as racing, this is it. I took this to hard enduros, I took it to hare scrambles, I took desert races, all that stuff. Now I am getting a beta, 24 beta 300RR race. I'm very excited about that. Should have it here in the next couple weeks. And that is going to become the hard enduro bike, and this is going to become just a GNCC, although we don't race GNCCs out here in the West, but hare scramble, desert, go fast bike. So I'm going to be taking a bunch of the hard enduro stuff off, like this rear tugger strap, the front tugger strap is coming off. Yeah, I just don't need them anymore for this kind of stuff, because this bike, I'm going to be kind of stripping this thing down and getting it a little bit lighter weight and a little bit more streamlined for going fast out in the desert, because that's what we do most of the time around here. All right, guys, one thing I have learned with this motorcycle is that when you're doing big stuff to it, you definitely want to disconnect the battery. I know that's what everybody should do, always disconnect the battery on everything you work on, blah, 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 blah. Fair enough, but most of the time you don't need to do that. It doesn't affect anything. But on these fuel-injected bikes with all these sensors and all this crap, you want to disconnect the battery, because if you bump a button right now, it'll try to start. It won't like hurt anything, but it'll probably throw a code that will never go away. Although, hopefully very soon, we're going to have this thing all set up to be able to read codes with the thing we got from First Track Motorsports, the little code reader. Right now we can't, because it's a 23, and the 23s are have a different base map, but we're getting the 24 base map put into this, so we should be good to go soon. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the battery, because we are going to be trying a new battery out when we put this thing back together. I'll show it to you in just a second. Not my favorite battery tray design here. Have to take the tank off, have to wheedle things out, but it does work, I guess. So I have been very happy with the anti-gravity AG801. It has been very, 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 very good to me. I'm not throwing it away. I'm not giving it away. I'm going to put it on a lithium battery tender, and we're going to leave it off to the side. But let me show you what we're going to try. All right, guys, we are going to give the Tusk Lithium Battery Pro, extremely lightweight and powerful lithium ion cell technology, the TLFP7 or -7L. It replaces YTZ5S, YTZ7S, YTX4LBS, YTX5LBS, YTZ or YTX 70 LBS, YB4LA, YB4LB, YB5LB, on down the line. Lots and lots and lots. So I'm excited because it's a lot less expensive than the anti-gravity, and we don't know how they work. Some of you guys are going to, I'm sure, jump in here. Tell me it's junk because it's Tusk, but I don't know yet. But I'm going to find out. Look how tiny it is. It's really sweet. I like it. It's got a test state of battery, lights up, that's cool. I like the fact that it's got these style terminals that have bolts just into them. And so you can either use these bolts or these top bolts, and that's going to be really cool because it comes with little bolts. I'm actually going to like that a lot on this bike because the way the battery sits in there, this is going to be really nice to be able to screw in from the top. I think that is really cool, actually. Obviously, it doesn't weigh much like all the other lithiums. Comes with stacks and stacks of foam things to make it, fit good. So we'll be able to make it fit. The anti-gravity, I ended up having to cut the battery box to make it work. But I can say that anti-gravity battery was brilliant. Man, it did great. Got that out, got the ECU out. It's getting updated, that's why it's not in here. I think everything else I'm going to leave on here because what we're going to do is we're going to load up and go to the car wash. I would normally wash this thing here, but it's cold. My pressure washer's all kind of winterized and out of commission right now, so I'm just not going to mess with it. And also the car wash has better soap. So what I like to do when I wash these things, I don't like to have big open holes because we are going to be replacing this pipe. We're going to be doing a bunch of other stuff to this thing, opening it up. But I don't want to do that now because I don't want to get water in things. I'm actually going to get a little plastic bag and zip tie it around the fuel inlet there so you don't get that wet. I'm going to leave the air filter on there because I don't have a wash cage for this new air filter style yet. So we're going to leave that there. I'm going to leave everything else hanging here. Yeah, let's go load up in the van, go get this thing washed. All right, that's better. Got it all cleaned up. Definitely not perfect yet, but that's okay. We got more cleaning to do. But I also want to take the pipe off and things like that. So we're about done with this video, guys, but I want to go over all the things that we are getting ready to do to this. And there's a lot of these things are things I recommend that you guys do every year during the winter or during your off season, whenever that off season is. Hopefully you don't have much of an off season and you have to force it to happen. But if you do have an off season, it's a great time. Otherwise, just carve out some time to do these things. And these are all going to be part of a video series about this bike. So first and foremost, we're going to take apart the chassis and we're going to grease all the bearings. Steering head bearings, linkage bearings, wheel bearings. Every bearing on the bike is going to get cleaned and greased or replaced if it needs to be, right? We are also going to replace all the plastics. That is not something you need to do unless you want to freshen things up. We got a new pipe coming to make that look shiny. We'll also take this one off and blow out the dents that are in it because it actually does pretty well at blowing out the dents on the stainless steel Moto's pipe. Let's see. Oh, we're going to try out that new battery from Tusk. I'm excited about that. We got new throttle cables coming because all you guys are so funny, whine and complain about my little throttle housing up here, the little rubber part, like, oh, you gotta replace that. It comes with the cable, and for a long time the cables were back ordered, so suck it. Anyway, I've got new cables. Finally they showed up, so we are going to replace that. I'm excited about that. We're going to go through every nut and bolt on this thing. I'm going to prep this thing as if it were going to the Baja 1000 kind of situations. Everything's going to get stuck nuts on it. Everything's going to get touched. Make sure everything's perfect. I am going to be revalving these forks, but I'm not doing it yet because they're fine and I only have just a few hours on them. I'm going to try to get to 30, 40 hours before I take them apart and do it, so it makes sense to change the oil at the same time. But yeah, we're going to do that. I think that's about it. Obviously, we'll be oil change, changing out the radiator fluid. Actually, I don't have to change out the radiator fluid because it's Evans, and Evans is good as long as you don't drain it out. That is totally fine. Yeah, just going through the bike, absolutely tip to tail, every last nut and bolt. Make sure it's absolutely perfect for the coming season. So make sure you guys subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you haven't. Check out our sponsors in the links below, guys. It really does make a massive difference. The Rocky Mountain link is changing my life, actually. You guys have been buying stuff. I really appreciate it. It has been a big help. So also, if you want any of the plastic, let me know. We'll ship that out to you. You can hang it on your wall. I don't know if anybody wants that or not, but, but let me know if you want some. And yeah, stay tuned. This is going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you guys on the next one.